guards are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As a handler, we're mainly out there to try to find violent felony suspects. We'll only deploy our police dogs on violent felony suspects, and we also use them for narcotics detection. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen helicopters up, and everybody hates that, but it serves a great purpose, and that's to find these people. And as you've heard, these early release prisoners are just out there like you wouldn't believe. We're running into them daily, 3, 4, 5 times a day. And those guys are responsible for a lot of crime, so it's really important for us to use these dogs to locate those people when they do commit crimes and take them into custody. Like I said, I've been a handler for about 7 years. In that time, I've done well over 100 searches for felony suspects. My dog's been credited with finding over 20 violent felony suspects. The advantage to using a police dog to find those people is the efficiency with which those dogs work. A properly trained police dog will save our department anywhere from 800 to 1,000 man-hours a year. What that means is, with some of our large commercial buildings or even residential houses, if somebody breaks in, we have to go find them. And by using a police dog, we can maybe use 4 officers and clear that building in 15 or 20 minutes. Compared to no dog, it might take 8 officers in an hour to search that building. So the efficiency with which we can use police dogs is wonderful. The way the dogs work is they use their nose to smell. So if we're looking for a suspect, we're organizing our search in a way that anybody that should be in there, we get them out. And if we're looking for the bad guy, we'll send the dog in with the search command. Basically what our dogs are trained to do is they will go into a building or an area like a backyard or something like that. When they find the suspect, they'll sit at the suspect's feet and bark. They'll sit there and bark. They will not bite. Which, getting these dogs to do that is pretty remarkable. And if the suspect were then decide to try to fight or flee, then we'd use the dog. The dog is trained to bite in one spot and hold on. The advantage to that is it minimizes injury to the suspect, makes getting the dog off easier. And the way we do this is through a lot of training. Both of our dogs, for basic patrol function, spend about 6 weeks at school. We do it 40 hours a week. We go through obedience, and we really build these dogs up from where we get them. Our dogs are imported from Europe, and we purchase them through a vendor out in Riverside. And the dogs have a basic understanding of searching, they have a basic understanding of biting, and they have a basic understanding of obedience. These dogs have absolutely no clue what it means to go in and search the high school. So we have to build them up through that. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. And one of the key things to do that and get that discipline is through obedience, which Officer Tio is going to demonstrate with Leo. There's 3 basic movements in obedience. There's a sit, a down, and a stand. And pretty much every day we come to work, we spend anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes a day just working on obedience. It keeps that dog disciplined where we need to function. A lot of our searches, we'll deploy with our SWAT team, and when we deploy in critical incidents, we need that dog to function at 100% and listen to us at 100%. And one of the unique things with dogs, and any of you that have dogs know, is we can get our dogs to lay down and stay in that position forever, for upwards of an hour if needed be. And as you can see, this is very difficult for the dogs to do. It'll stay there, and dogs will use hand signals. We can communicate, we can talk to them, and he'll sit there and watch his handler, and anything that comes between him and his handler, the dog's just going to lay there. As you can see, the dog really has no interest. He's only watching his handler. One of the things I forgot to touch on is our dogs are imported from Europe, and they do not speak English commands. I think both of our dogs are in Czech commands. Our partners' commands are in Dutch. The reason we do that, that's just where they're raised as puppies. We import them when they're anywhere from 15 months to 3 years old and put them into service. And you can change the language, but most people just stick with normal commands. As you can see, both of our dogs, and all the dogs for that matter, a lot of their function is based on play drive. So obedience is playful for them. It's fun for them. When I bring out my dog to do narcotics detection, you'll see it's all fun. His tail's wagging, he's having a good time. And as you can see, that's some discipline. For those of you that have dogs, he just threw his toy down and the dog doesn't care about the toy because he knows that's not what he's supposed to be doing. He came back and he gets his toy. One of the disciplines that our dogs are trained in, as I've kind of previously touched on, is narcotic detection. Our dogs are trained on the odor of 4 types of drugs: cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, and marijuana. In anything tainted with those odors, which is an advantage for us because a lot of these major cartels that we work with, or we try to intercept their drugs, they carry a lot of cash. Since Arthur and I have been doing narcotics detection, we've gotten probably close to 5 tons of illegal narcotics off the street, ranging in quantities from a gram to, I think our largest was 6,500 pounds a week, and pretty much everything in between. Not to mention the fact that anytime we find currency that's tainted with narcotics, we get to seize it. It's criminal proceeds. And to date, Arthur and I have gotten over $4.5 million seized from these cartels, and that's why we shut these cartels down, is taking their money. And the advantage to the community is our city sees anywhere from 5 to 10% of that money over the course of a dog. So it ultimately pays for the dog. And so, as you can see, I'll bring my dog out here in a minute. We're going to do a narcotics demonstration. One of these traffic cones has narcotics hidden on it. And like I said, this is a game for the dog. The dog is playful, it's fun. And what the dog thinks is how we train him on this odor. The dog is trained to scratch the source of the odor. That tells me, Dad, here's where the odor is the strongest. And what my dog thinks is if he scratches long enough, he'll get his toy. His toy will just pop out of nowhere and he gets his reward. That's what drives these dogs. And you'll see, he'll probably pick up the odor as soon as I get him out of the car.
Yeah, like my partner Chris said, what he's going to do right now is demonstrate underneath one of these cones is some narcotics being hidden. By the way the dog actually comes out, this is playtime for him. He's having a good time. He's looking around, he's sniffing, using his nose. And when he finds it, you're going to see a change of behavior. There it is. There you go. See him scratching by trying to get his toy? The dog thinks what we know as narcotics, he thinks it's his toy. And right now he's looking for that toy and he's trying to get to it. There it is.
Good job.
As you can see, they have very strong jaws.
Oh my Lord.
And they love playing. This is all fun to him. That's no way. No. Next thing we're going to do for you guys is, we call it an attack on handler. What we're going to do is we're going to simulate. Chris is going to be our bad guy. I'm going to pretend that I'm going to stop him in the street. I'm going to have my canine Leo with me. And Chris is going to attack me. And well, one of the things our dog does is defend us, first and foremost. So hopefully if everything goes well, he bites Chris and not me. We'll find out. Does anybody have any questions? In the meantime, while Chris is getting ready. Okay, the question was, can I use Chris's dog? He may listen to me a little bit, but that's his owner. That's Dad. Anything he says he's going to do. In an emergency, he may listen to me. More than likely, he's going to listen to Chris. I'm sorry? You want us to go on the stage up there? Okay. Is there any other questions from anybody? Right. The question was, she thought Arthur was retired. He is from patrol, but he's still doing narcotics work for us. The only reason is my dog is only patrol trained, so if any narcotics calls him dead, my dog can't handle it. It has to be either my partner Corey or Chris.
Okay, I guess we're going to go up on the stage. One thing I want to point out, a lot of people see us do these demonstrations and think our dogs bite a lot of people. They really don't. Like I said, Arthur and I have found over 20 felony arrests as a result of his fines. Not a single one of those resulted in a bite. So this is extremely rare that our dogs bite people. And a lot of times it's because the crooks are smart enough to know, get in a spot the dog can't get him. As soon as the dog finds him, they give up.
He's already got his eye on you.
Anybody have any questions of us? Question is, why do we get our dogs from Europe? They've just been doing it for so many years. They have the best dogs available. Any other questions? Question is, if the criminal weren't wearing this, would it hurt? Yes. They say there's two types of canine handlers. Those that have been bit and those that are going to get bit. And I've been bit. It hurts. Any other questions? The question is, was the location of the bite based on training? The answer is yes. We do a lot of our bites because it's the perfect spot for the dog to bite. However, the dogs are also trained to bite anything they can. So they'll bite a leg, they'll bite a back, they'll bite some other areas that are very painful. They'll basically go wherever they can get a bite in. Any other questions?
Oh, I'm sorry.